My name is Yuko Harayama. I'm from Japan, and I'm 73 years old now, so long past experiences doing research on innovation policies at Tohoku University in Japan. Based on this experience, I have been engaged by the Japanese government to not just analyzing scientific policy, but preparing scientific innovation policy for the Japanese government. So 5 years at the cabinet office, and just before I had experienced 2 years at the OECD in Paris, supervising all related to science, technology, innovation policy within, so at the international level. So my experience at the international level and Japanese level. And then I was really interested in not only policy level, but what happened in reality. So to be more in touch with those who are doing research and those who are advocating and promoting innovations. So on this point, I took a position of executive director in research institutions in Japan for 2 years. So I was directly in touch with researchers. And also, I used to go to the ground in the sense that lastly, I became active participant of the one non-profit organizations with a slogan, "Make Japanese science more exciting."
Wow.
And the idea is really creating projects, giving incentive to those who are still behind the scene, but who want to engage themselves. So within this framework, I have created a project 2 years ago called Students Idea Factory.
Wow,
So
I like that one. Yes.
It's on good.
Yes.
And we are to really make a call across all Japan, students, undergrad students, giving us their own ideas about research, kind of competition. And we used to select 30 really innovative students from all around Japan, from different fields, really cross, not focusing in any discipline, but it's open to everybody. It should be their own ideas. And the idea of gathering of 30 exciting students is really kind of synergy among them, and discovering other topics, and probably they may connect,
The
and then
connections
something new
come.
may happen. So really,
Yeah.
opportunities.
You are all the time trying to think on the following steps. So, what makes you an innovator?
If you define innovators in a traditional way, I'm not innovator because I'm not creating a new business, something like that.
Yes.
But my hobby and what I love to do is really challenge something new. So it's the essence of innovation. Also, what I love to do is really meeting people, and also just trying to practice active aging. Because almost 20 years ago, when I was at the Tohoku University, we had we applied to a big projects in the Japanese government, proposing to use all new digital technology. 20 years ago, there's no AI, no connection like today. But the idea was really using new ICT technology to make social lives from elderly more comfortable. They'll be able to stay in their environment, but at the same time to be followed by the medical staff, and also may be able to really go outside.
So you are practicing what you were visioning and what you were researching, and then just to make sure that you are purpose driven and that you are coherent with what you were doing or what you were thinking about. So you were saying you are not an innovator in the conventional way, but we are advocating very much for this social digital innovation. So the social innovation, when we are able to design new initiatives, new ways for collaboration, for this type of initiatives that help us in doing things differently with others. In that sense, I find you as an innovator. So, what would you say are these principles and drivers in your case? I mean,
don't be thinking too far from where you are today, because there's so many students and young people just taking care of what's may happen in 10 years from now, 20 years of my career, my family, everything. So usually it don't work like you planned at the beginning. So my advice is really, if it's interesting for you, let's do that. You must have positive thinking. It's my basic principle.
What about the power dynamics, Yuko, in the collaborations?
At the beginning, you were so motivated and, excited to do something new, but usually it don't work like you plan, expected, and the many small barriers, interpersonal incompatibility, because I feel I'm very happy to gather people, not homogeneous one, but diverse people within. It's very rich, and if it's happen, it's very, very exciting. Mm-hmm. And the students themselves too, they have to commit themselves, but in different context compared to their everyday life in their universities. And sometimes it's necessary to have some principles to work together, and it's something like a learning process, in particular for young students.
You are built on the positive spirit that you are talking about all the time, and on the hope that things will happen. But then we need these facilitators. So the people that are there making the bridge between different ones. And I'm very triggered because we are seeing more young people here, at least in the Basque Country, that they want to be civil servants doing the same thing for the whole life, because then they will be in a very established position, very stable, and so not confronted to new things. How do we make this facilitation in a way that we push people to come together? And the other thing is, how do we inoculate this entrepreneurial spirit?
You have to be ready. If you have to really handle a group of people to achieve something, and even you are not assigned as a leader, but sometimes it's happened that someone should take the lead. So in this case, go ahead. And you'll be learning how to manage with different people, and then successful conflicts, all this stuff may happen, but you are learning.
Yeah.
So my message during this course is to make them experience, to create some artificial context by making a group of 5 or 6 and assigning some task, and they should do something. So based on my experience with these students, they are very happy to challenge, to take lead. If occasion happen to you, And they have so many ideas about doing something not only for your personal perspective, but serving for your society. Generation today, they're more conscious about all these aspects. So I'm very confident for the next generation and for the future. But we need to give them opportunity to exercise themselves and then say, yeah, you can go ahead. And if something doesn't work well, I can support you. You need to have someone
giving you the opportunity and also supporting you in the process, right?
In case it doesn't work.
Yeah. So that you have a net if you fell down or if something doesn't work so well. Yeah. Let's move a little bit on something that we are really working on, and we want to figure out how it can be done. Is this quadruple or N-helix innovation ecosystem? So when you have the different actors coming together, and they need to help in innovation in a region or in a community or wherever the context is, and we need to put these priorities, regulations, actors, initiatives, etc. together. So tell us any of your experience on this.
There's no solution for all. It's case by case and based on the chemistry of people. So every single case is unique. That's the basis. But recognizing that people are thinking differently, and even you have some common projects, common program written, so it's maybe official, but interpretation of the contents is different to your background and your experiences, and so on. So what is important for me is that not leaving people alone. So usually what you do is creating triple, quadruple helix, picking up in different sectors people and then putting together. And you have the projects, written one and approved by the funding agency usually.
Yeah.
That you get the money, so you have to do that. Usual way is really making a map of division of labors. You have the big project, sub-project, and you assign responsible for each sub-project. They have their own team, and then let's go.
Uh-huh.
And let's hope to have this phase, but not keeping them alone. You have to really share what you're doing and what's the problem you are encountering, and not keeping within your team, but sometimes you can be inspired by other teams' ideas, and so on. So usually we set up projects composed of 3 or 4 teams by theme of the project itself. But also you can set up, usually you set up kind of team by functions. Uh-huh. Those who are doing research, those who are communications, those who are interaction with the industry sectors. Yeah. No, it seems to be functional. It seems to be efficient and operational on the paper, on the organigram.
So it's adaptability, it's flexibility, And there is one thing that, a couple of things that I have found. One is to find the common language, because people have different approaches and understanding. So until
Same word in different meaning.
yes, and then you need to decodify what everybody has in their mind with the same paper in front or the same idea in front, and then you are in the same page. And then there is this how to overcome this dichotomy between collaboration and competition. How you build trust so that people can really share what they are doing.
You have to have mutually respect, but at the same time trust. And also I would say if you have very high level of expectation with your project, you try to gather high level of specialists in your team, and it should be exciting to have all of them. At the same time, if you are bringing different expertise from different professionals, you say they are specialists. I'm not a specialist. Then, therefore, I have nothing to say. But they say it should be done in this way. So you limit your capacity in your fields. And even on the paper, it's a team of different expertise. In fact, what's happened is that no interactions because they are so professional in this field. I think for me, it's very important, critical, to make these, to make value of diversity of expertise within a team. Because usually it's, even in the same project, you have the list of people that compartmented usually.
Yeah. So thank you very much. And I want to introduce Olaj, my colleague here, Olaj. I am very well accompanied Yuko with young people that are very smart and very energetic, and they have very good ideas. So we have 3 generations of women here in the screen now. And so it is something for me very, very enriching.
So yeah, this part of the interview, we are doing short questions. So I think this will be a challenge for you as well, because you have to answer to these questions with a short explanation. So let's see how you're gonna do it. Okay, so the first one is, what's in your opinion a successful innovation ecosystem?
You don't know when you are actor within innovation ecosystem, because it's a continuing process. You are doing your parts, but result is not depending on your efforts. A combination with other parts, and then probably you do not have the same expectation of success among ecosystem participants. So for me, when I challenge something new with my colleagues in terms of ecosystem, I'm happy when we see that we can achieve something even in short, small step. Advancing something new is, for me, it's kind of success. Innovation is kind of continuing process, connection of different pieces. I think it's a learning process. And if it's continue to operate, for me, it's a success. So I would say never-ending story.
Yes. Okay, now that we have the explanation, what do you think can be improved in your ecosystem?
Almost all aspects, when you have your own competencies, and when you do something new project, you are mobilizing what you have learned by the past and what you can do. But you can do differently in any cases, and in the way that if something work quite well, you are happy, but probably you don't feel so satisfied because it's too easy. Then you can say, okay, if I add new function to this part, or if I can approach other audience, it's maybe open a new perspective for innovation. So you can do that. So probably you can say you can talk about in terms of improvements. But I would suggest to not measure your skills or competencies or what you have. And it could be considered as improvements, but also adding new dimension to you. I would prefer to have this adding up process rather than just really focalizing on the same things and then some parts you need to have a kind of training to achieve something.
And finally, what strategies would you suggest or can you think of to put these people working really together, something that has successful outcomes?
Your question is designing collaboration is very clear from your perspective, but to pass to the reality behind, for example, private sector, behind public sector, behind social agents, there's so many different diversity within the same category. So when you really initiate a real project gathering all these stakeholders, you have a person front of you. It's not representative of private sector, representative of governments. They have this title, but people with whom you're working is really a real person. So you have to take account of people's interactions. There's no unique formula because of the sections, but it's up to the human-to-human interactions. So you have to remember this aspect before all these structural interactions. And it's not only by setting up rule of the games or other incentives, putting money, for example, from the government, from the company, and so on. Then we have to do something. It's a framework, but in reality, it's quite complex because you have to take account of their reactions. And if you are kind of person to orchestrate these interactions, you have to be really ready to listen to all of them individually and also make sure that they feel comfortable working together.
Wow, that was really, really interesting because the human-driven factor here came very much aligned with our principles, with our vision for the common good. So it goes beyond to your representative role or the helix that you are placed on. It goes to your capacity to collaborate with others and your willingness to do things in a different manner. And then you brought also to again this facilitator's role, the person that is making this connection. So this is something that we are really trying to do with capacity building. So to have these new profiles of people that can facilitate these processes. So that was a very good way to end up our conversation, Yuko.
Thank you very much. I'm happy if you have us useful.
Thank you, Yuko.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. You're welcome.